Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Youngmaster3, and this is going to be the top 10 the worst movies that I've seen during 2017. Now these, just like I mentioned in the other previous video, is that this is not going to be my the only movies that I saw in 2007 and movies from 2017. This is going to be the movies that I saw for the very first time during 2017, which I thought was the worst that I've seen during the whole year. So yeah, I know it's been a while since I made the previous one, the best movies, and I'm a little bit lazy, and I'm not really sure if I can say lazy either, because I don't think, or I do not recommend any of these movies whatsoever. But if you still for some reason want to check them out, I will leave a link down below in the description, so you can check out the list or them from the IMDb page. And yeah, one thing before I start with the top list is that I want to mention that I'm probably not going to make as much videos as I did before, because we have some things to take care of in the house. We basically we are like rebuilding our bathroom right now, so we have like people, and there are like so much noise in the house on the daytime. So this is the reason why I may decide to make this video so late at night. Yeah, that's the reason why. Now I've been mumbling here for almost 2 minutes already. Now I'm going to continue with the top 10 worst movies that I've seen during 2017. Now at number 10, we have a movie which I did not really look forward to watch it, but you know, it's one of those cases when you have to um, stand up for your friends, so to say, because I had no interest in watching this movie whatsoever, but I did it because some of my friends wanted to watch it, and I thought, well, what the hell not? It can be a little bit fun at least. But I did not like this movie at all, and it's basically because of one of the main characters, and I'm gonna mention that soon. But yeah, the movie is This Is the End, with Seth Rogen, James Franco, and yeah, all the other guys. The thing is, I can't stand Seth Rogen. I've never thought he has been funny in any movie that he's ever been in, and I don't really understand I guess I'm one of those who don't understand the humor or something. But yeah, I can stand him. I think he's not funny at all, and he tries way too hard to make people to laugh, and it just comes off awkward and stupid. And also, I think James Franco's career has been like ruined ever since he started to cooperate with Seth Rogen. So yeah, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, This Is the End at number 10. Sorry all you friends that have probably seen this right now, but yeah. And at number 9 is a horror movie from, let's see here, 2006, called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, with Amber Heard. This is another one of these cases where I really can't stand the actress. And the movie is, the movie at first it feels a little bit cool and creative, but it takes so many wrong turns, and it just becomes a big mess. It feels like the movie doesn't really know where to go, and they wanted to like put another twist on that and another twist on that, and it just becomes so irritating after a while that you just can't stand it anymore. So yeah, that's the reason why that movie's on the list. I couldn't stand it. So yeah, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane at number 9. And at number 8 we have a movie called Nomads from 1988. No, not 1988, 1986, sorry, with Pierce Brosnan. Usually I almost always find good things about movies from the 80s, but this is one of the rare cases where I couldn't find anything interesting in this movie whatsoever. The storyline is very boring, and it felt like once again it felt like this movie didn't really know where to go, and the build up or the characters, you don't care about any of them. That's another really big problem with the movie. And Pierce Brosnan is he's like a stone faced throughout the whole movie, and yeah, I think he did. That is probably the worst movie that I've seen with Pierce Brosnan, to be honest. But I am not going to go plain on him that much because I know it's one of the earlier roles, I guess, that he did. So yeah, Nomads at number 8. And at number 7 we have a movie called Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Um, and this is based off a video game. I've not played the video game, but I have a friend who have talked about the video game and how hard it is, or difficult to complete. And yeah, so I was not the right audience or the right people, the right person to watch this movie, because sometimes it feels like you really need to have that background story to really enjoy a movie that is based off of like a book or a TV game or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's now this probably sounds really stupid for me to say this, but Angelina Jolie actually looked quite attractive in this movie, and after this it felt like she destroyed herself for her good looks. But yeah, that can never save a movie. That's something that I really hate about very many of the newer movies that come out today, that it feels like there's so much focus on how good you look in front of the camera instead of the acting. And I think that's a really big shame, and I think that's one of the problems with this movie as well, even though this was released back in 2001. So yeah, the reason why I look at this way all the time is because I have the list here on the computer. So yeah, Lara Croft Tomb Raider at number 7. And at number 6 is a movie called The Human Race from 2013. Now the biggest reason why I picked up this movie was because I heard it had some similarities with Battle Royale, and I think Battle Royale is a great masterpiece. Yeah, just screw off Hunger Games. I'm so not interested in that piece of garbage anyway. But this is another one of those that really tries way too hard to be like a Battle Royale type movie, but it fails completely because of the awful acting in it, and the actors are trying way too hard, and they are like screaming and screaming and screaming because of their. I know for sure that you are supposed to scream if you're like bleeding really really bad, but it just gets way too annoying. And something that I didn't like about this either is because I basically saw this in front of me like, oh my god, it's gonna be like a gore fest, gonna be so entertaining to watch, but there was so much like CGI blood, which just put me off right away, because I've never been a big fan of CG. I mean, you can make great CG if you do it right, but there's been so many movies lately that I've seen that have that really bad CGI in it. So yeah, The Human Race, and it took like a really weird turn towards the end, which was supposed to be so shocking, and I just thought it was, I don't know, it was disappointing, I guess. So yeah. And then at number 5 we have, I'm almost talked for almost 10 minutes now, so I'm just gonna speed up a little bit. At number 5 we have a made for TV movie, I guess, or maybe, yeah, it was released direct on video, so it didn't have a theatrical release. But the movie is called Hatchet Man from 2003. Now, to be honest, I barely remember anything from this movie, and that's maybe the reason why I put this on the top 10 worst movies that I've seen during the past year. It was supposed to be some sort of slasher, and I just remember that the acting was absolutely terrible. Now it seems like I'm repeating myself over and over again when it comes to the acting, but the acting is so important in very many movies. Now I know for sure that this is a slasher movie, and in a slasher movie the acting doesn't really need to be that good, but yeah, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I know this is like a really stupid answer to that question, or why I didn't like it, but that's because I can barely remember that much from it at all. So yeah, Hatchet Man at number 5. And at number 4 is a movie which I watched, which is I think it's sort of a sequel, but it's one of those Ilse movies. Ilse, Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks. Now the reason why this isn't on a higher spot on this crappy list is because I thought it had some interesting gore in it and blood effects and stuff. It is a very sleazy movie. I mean, what do you expect when you watch a Ilse movie? I did watch the other one. I think that was like 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago, called Ilse, She Wolf of the SS. Uh, just a fucked up, twisted movie, just like this one. But it's just way too much sleaze for me. I mean, I don't have anything against sleazy films, but it I don't think I'm the right. Once again, I don't think I'm the right person to been like rambling on about the Ilse movies, because I am not the hugest fan of those movies at all, to be honest. But I thought it still had some interesting blood and gore effects, so I guess that's something positive about that movie. So yeah, and at number 3 is uh, a movie called Sorceress. This is another one which just falls in the same category as Ilse. This is way too sleazy. I mean, then you probably ask yourselves like, why don't you like sleazy movies? I mean, that's entertaining to watch, but it is like a line. I mean, if it's like 70% sleaze and 30% like other like action or something else, I mean, it's it's too much sleaze for me, and I think the storyline in the whole movie just ruins it. And yeah, Sorceress. I mean, it's really weird because Sorceress also has Linda Blair in it, and that's the biggest reason why I picked it up. But she's completely wasted in this movie. She does not have enough screen time, because apparently the director was really like horny when it came to the female lead in this movie. I think that was his wife, or maybe his. I'm not too sure. I'm probably just mumbling here, but way too sleazy once again. And yeah, the acting was terrible in it as well, even though it had some interesting like blood effects or whatever. But yeah, Sorceress at number 3. Now at number 2 is a movie which was the very last movie that I watched during 2017. And it is another Seth Rogen movie, and I hated this with a passion. Sorry, all of my friends that I watched this movie with, but this is just my personal opinion. I thought it was a piece of shit, and the movie is Knocked Up with Seth Rogen once again. I don't really need to go into any more details about it, because I just, like I mentioned with the other movie on this list, This Is the End. I can't stand Seth Rogen. I think he's never been funny at all, and I do not understand why people find him so funny. So yeah, that's just my opinion. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And when I thought there was nothing else, I mean, all of these movies have at least 2 stars out of 10. The next movie has 1 star out of 10, and that's another movie which I actually wrote a review of on the IMDb page, basically telling people to avoid this piece of crap. And the movie is Trick or Treats from 1982. Now, this is not the movie Trick or Treat, and it's not the movie Trick or Treat. Those are completely different movies. So this is Trick or Treats with an S on treats. Yeah, I guess what I mean. Um, Now, I am not going to tell you any more about that movie, because if you do want to get any more information about this, I think you can check out my review of it on IMDb. I basically talked about it like the only thing that you see is basically David Carradine in maybe 4 minutes and Steve Railsback in 2 minutes, and that's all the enjoyment you get in the movie, and the rest is just crap. So yeah, and it has one of the most annoying kids in it that I've ever seen in any film. So yeah, now I'm just gonna end the video before you get tired of me like complaining. But yeah, that's just my list, and yeah, I'm just gonna hope this year doesn't have as much. I mean, this year was still quite good, and because there was only one movie that I gave 1 stars out of 10. 1 star out of 10, and the rest has been like 2 stars and up. So the previous year again, I think I had like maybe 5 or 6 movies that I gave 1 star out of 10. So yeah, now I'm just gonna shut up and end the video before it runs way too long. So yeah, hope you enjoyed and didn't get bored, and hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.